Nope.
So, vehicle rebalance. Specifically, premium and reward vehicles are probably getting the biggest of the changes. So, let's have a look at them. Collapse that minute. So, I'm not going to fucking read all of it. I'm just going to kind of summarize it. But basically, they're just saying that over the past few years, loads of things have changed in the game, and some of the vehicles have become less popular or not used. And they wanted to tweak the values of the vehicles to try and maintain fairness, so we can do interest in the underachieving ones and the ones that are not played often, as well as kind of rein in the overpowered vehicles. And there are 2 overpowered reward tanks that they are looking at. I won't tell you, so if you haven't read this yet, but so let's have a look at the premium vehicles that they're going to be rebalancing. We have the T26E5 and the Patriot. They have the M449 and the Liberate, the Pilot number 1, Sturv X81 and the Primo Victoria, the Centurion 51 RAAC, the FV4202 and the Turtle Mark 1. Now, some of these tanks do actually underperform. The FV4202 is not that great and has been kind of superseded now, so it's good to see this one getting a buff. And most of these tanks are getting a buff. So just so you're aware. So let's have a look at some of the changes that they're doing to these premium vehicles. And we'll start with the D-Tronics. So they are buffering the top speed, reverse speed, dispersion during movement and on hold traverse speed, dispersion, so accuracy, and the aiming time. So top speed is getting a 4.8 km/h top speed increase, so going to 45. If I remember, if I'm right, these are the new stats. So it is basically going from 40 to 45 km/h. Okay, fair enough. It's still going to, I mean, I was going to say it's still going to feel quite slow, but then again, it's a heavy tank, and 45 km/h on a heavy is actually really fast. So, sure. And the reverse speed has been increased by 2 km/h from 15 to 17. Its accuracy is getting an overall buff with less of a penalty to accuracy during movement and hold traverse. The hold traverse speed is getting a considerable increase. This is what? I'm trying to back up all the percentages. It's what, 15%? I think. Is it a 15% increase in hold traverse speed? It's becoming slightly more accurate, even though, to be honest, 0.38 is, in my eyes, fairly accurate. So, sure. And the aiming time is getting reduced to 2.1 seconds, which is still fairly long, but it's a heavy, and you can put coated optics, golden line drive on that. You'll get that down to 2 seconds easily. You can probably get that down to like 1.8. AMX M4 Mile. So, I mean, I have this particular tank. I wouldn't say it's underpowered, personally, but it's getting a... Wait, I have this tank. We can actually see whether this tank, if these are before or after values. So, hold transfer speed, 30 degrees a second. What is it now? Let's have a look. Hold traverse speed. Yeah, okay. Okay, so these are the after values. So the hold traverse speed is going up to 30 degrees a second. Dispersion, penalty on movement and hold traverse is 0.18 meters. It's getting an extra 20 meters of view range, which is nice. Because by the time you put coated optics or binos on this, you probably wouldn't use binos. Put coated optics on it, you can get that close to, I reckon, 420, 430 meters. Wouldn't be that hard to get out of that. So that's good. 2.5 second aim time. Aiming time still sucks. I mean, it's nice that they've knocked 0.4 seconds off, but it still sucks. And the dispersion penalty on touch traverse is also increasing. Sorry, improving. Fine. I like those changes. Hey, Carl Luke. I'm okay. How's you? T-25 pilot is basically getting a buff to its ammo, basically. I say ammo. It's getting a buff to its gun. So it's getting a penetration buff on both the standard and special shells, and it's getting a shell velocity improvement. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I don't think... I mean, 800 meters a second would still be pretty fast. And to be honest, 79 meters a second additional on the what is basically a PCR, not going to notice it. You'll notice this change more than this change. And even then, I don't think you'll probably notice the difference. Skota T50, hello to you. How are you doing? Okay, so been good. That's good to hear. I haven't seen you in a little while, so it's good to hear you. You're doing well. So, T-25 pilot is getting a buff to its gun. Centurions having, well, just one change, and it seems pretty pointless, but it's getting a reduced penalty on accuracy for movement and hold traverse. Fair enough. And the same thing pretty much goes with the Sturv 81. If they both pretty much have the similar improvement, they both are basically going down to the same value, 0.14 meters. FV4202 again is having the same dispersion factor, so 0.14 meters, but the view range is actually going to 400 meters. I've had no to play with WoT 2 for the past 4 hours. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. So yeah, where was I? Yep. So view range is going to 400 meters. Gun reload time is getting improved by half a second to 7.5 seconds. Okie dokie. So overall, it's basically getting a buff to its reload and its view range. That's the main buffs to the FE4202. That's fine. The turtle. Okay. So the top speed and the reverse speed is getting improved by 5 and 2 kilometers respectively. Fine, it's going to be a little bit faster, even though 25 kilometers an hour, it's still a slow tank. Fair enough. Dispersion factor 0.18 meters. That's good. It's getting a buff to its penetration. 240 mils on the standard shell, 270 millimeters on the gold round. That. Now I don't know if this is me, but 240 mils on a tank destroyer, on a tier 8 tank destroyer, still seems a bit weak. I would expect to see 250, 260 on the standard shells at this tier for a tank destroyer. But I suppose the premium shells make up for that, and I suppose they're trying to make people use the premium shells, I suppose. But the shell velocities is where you get the biggest improvement on this tank. You get an extra 200 meters a second above the standard and these gold rounds. Now I'm thinking, have they changed this shell type? Because I swear any shell that's at least 1,000 meters per second that's AP is APCR. That is APCR. That we know. Are they going to be replacing the primary shell type from AP to APCR to get that, kilometer a second speed? Well, yeah. Imagine that. Well. I don't know, Cafe. You've lost me. And then we're back to there. Okay, so that's the premium tanks. Let's have a look at the tech tree tanks. Now, there isn't that many tech tree. I say there aren't that many tech tree tanks. This is all tech tree tanks that they are going to be looking at. Churchill 7, Black Prince, AC Mile 46, the 65T, 4502P, T69, the M6, M26 Pershing, the M41 Walker Bulldog, the AT15 and the 110. So Churchill is getting accuracy buffs and is also getting an aiming time buff on its 75mm gun. Fair enough. I mean, it's still a slow turd anyway, but hey, at least it could be more accurate. Churchill is actually getting a buff to its speed, so it's getting a 25% increase in speed, which is good. Again, dispersion during movement and hold traverse on both these suspension types is improving as well. And the aiming time of a 17-pounder is improving 2-second aiming time. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's good. And again, the dispersion during turret traverse is, I'm seeing a lot of 0.14 meter. I'm guessing this is what Wargaming are trying to aim for, because we saw a lot of tier 8 premium tanks that had the same 0.14 meter. Actually, I know, I think it was during movement and hold traverse. Hello Zoe, how are you doing? Can we get a shout out for Zoe, please? bright prints is pretty much going through the same changes. Yeah. So the Churchill's line is going to be more maneuverable. It's going to be a little bit faster. Like I say, that's a good 25% increase in speed. That's quite a bit. I mean, it's still slow, but hey, at least it's an improvement. And the dispersion during turret traverse is getting I was going to say 50% improvement, but it's getting a 50% improvement to 0.1 meters. That's good. The AC Mile 46 is getting more frontal hull armor, an extra 20mm to 140. Okay. I mean, I suppose that kind of fits in line with the rest of that tech tree, because the rest of that tech tree upwards, the rest of that line, they do tend to have a bit of trollish armor. Like, they have a bit of armor without being too much armor, and they can bounce. So, okay. Again, penalties for accuracy, for moving, and that is all improving. That's a common trait. And the aiming time for the 100mm gun is improved as well. That's actually going to make this 100mm gun more comfortable to use, because 2.7 second aiming time was terrible. 2.3 it's okay. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. Then we have the AMX 65T, which is getting an effective armor increase, which is going to be interesting. So the upper glacis plate, which I'm guessing means this little tiny bit here, I'm guessing, it's getting effective armor increase to 220. Same with the glacis plate slope. So basically the entire thing, oh, it could be this bit actually, it's on about. Either way, they're all going up to an effective armor fitness of 220. The whole traverse speed is getting an extra 1 degree a second. Yeah, not gonna fucking notice that. It gets an extra 10 meters of view range. Again, knocks a half a second off the 120mm guns and reload. And the standard shell penetration is getting an extra 7mm to 225, which brings it online with most of the tier 8 heavies. So that's a considerable nice buff. And this, yeah, okay. So I'm going to quickly skim through this because there's a lot of changes here. Let's go on to this. So dispersion during movement and hold reverse with both suspension types. It's improving the reload time of 105mm. Gun is decreasing to 8.9 seconds, which is good. The accuracy for the gun is also improved to 0.35, which is good, as is the aiming time. I think those stats there, 0.89 second reload, with accuracy 0.35 and a 2-second aim time, that just makes that 105mm gun much better. Vehicle durability, so it's getting extra 30 hit points. It seems, and it's the same for both using the stock turret or low grade turret. 30 hit points, sure, why not? And then it's getting an armor buff as well, or the effective armor is getting a armor buff to 260 on the upper glacis plate, should be this bit here. And the skewer turret and it says cheeks, so I'm guessing this section here is 120 mils effective. Fair enough. You've lost me, Cafe. Right, T69. I'm gonna ignore the ones that keep saying dispersion improvements. I think they're all getting that. But the 90mm aiming time. Sorry, the aiming time on the 99. The aiming time on the 90mm gun is, well, 2.5 second aiming time on a medium tank is big. It's getting a buff to its penetration. Again, this is going to be another. This is another one of those tanks where it kind of encourages you to fire gold, because 200mm of penetration when you go against tier 10s, yeah, that's not going to be enough. So you will be using this 280. So expect a lot of, expect people to still be firing a lot of gold. Not the fact that people just fire gold in it anyway, because that's just meta now. The potion is getting a buff to its aiming time, going down to 2 seconds. The accuracy is going down to 0.34. The penetration is going up to 212. Okay, so more than T69. Fair enough. And the reload time is decreasing to 6.8 seconds. Fair enough. Right, and the Water Bulldog. Let's have a look. So, standard shell penetration is increasing to 180mm and 215 for the premium shells. The the reload time for the gun is going down by 10% to 4.5 seconds. The accuracy is getting an improvement to 0.35 meters, and the aiming time is 1.7 seconds. Okay, that I like. Okay, AT-15 is getting the same mobility buffs as the Chochu, so it's getting an extra 25% on the forward speed. The dispersion during movement is got a 30% increase, and yeah. Again, I would say that I was going to do all these because these are pretty much across all the tanks. These are all getting buffed anyway. But this is getting an extra 100mm of armor behind the gun mantlet. So behind here, to give it 227. Okay, this might actually be quite fun to play. And the 110 is getting a buff to its reload time to 8.5 seconds, and its accuracy is getting a buff to 0.35 meters. The aiming time for the 100 aiming time is getting the buff to 2.3. Hey Dar, how are you doing? And the low glacis effective armor, so this fucking big massive weak spot here, is getting a buff to 200 meters. Okay, then we have 4 tier 10 tanks that's getting changes. The 268 version 4, WZ113GFT, the VZ55 and the ST2. So let's see what they say about it. So the version 4 is considered one of the highest performance machines in its class and boasts impressive capabilities that make it hard to resist. Okay, I mean, it's not as great as it once was, but it's still a good tank. However, reducing some of its characteristics will allow other vehicles to compete more effectively against it. In addition, the vehicle's The chassis rotation will be improved, allowing it to respond more quickly to situations while maintaining its impressive firepower. Right, so before we've even looked at the bloody stats, just going based on what they've said, they nerfed the mobility of the tank because it was too good, and now by the sounds of things, they are improving the mobility. Then what was the fucking point in nerfing the mobility in the first place? It just seems wasted. Okay, but we'll have a look at the stats and just see exactly what they've done. The popularity and battle performance of the WZ-113G fake tank are significantly below our expectations, especially compared to similar tank destroyers. G. Tetri tanks not competing well against other tanks. G. Who would have thought? So the update includes improvements to its efficiency and overall gameplay experience, and the aim is to increase its competitiveness compared to other vehicles at this level. Fair enough. The VZ-55 is one of the top performing TF10 heavy tanks and is seen increasingly often in the battlefield. Yes, the VZ-55 is a good tank. And I think is actually at the moment meta in Clan Wars, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure in Clan Wars, this tank is also requested. Its impressive features make it a formidable opponent that can significantly impact the outcome of a match. However, many players perceive certain characteristics of the vehicle as too powerful. These aspects will be reworked to lessen the effect. Okay, we'll have to have a look to see what changes they're going to be doing to lessen the effect. The ST2 has been significantly underperforming and has lost popularity since its introduction to the game. The update includes improvements to efficiency. So, repeating what he basically said up here. Basically. Okay. Let's have a look at the changes then to the W113Gs. So it's getting a bump in horsepower. It's getting a bump in top speed. Its shelf velocity is getting a considerable jump. I mean, an extra 200 meters is a considerable jump. And then the reload time is getting a tiny little change that we won't notice. And the accuracy is getting a fair improvement. Okay. Object 268 version 4, and we finally come across a tank, but it's actually getting a nerf. So, they're increasing the whole traverse by 3 degrees, but then they're reducing the top speed by 10, and its power, I mean 2 horsepower per ton it's losing. They're reducing its hit points by 100 hit points, so 2%, and its rangefinder cover is reducing the armor by 20 millimeters. Okay, I'm not sure whether I like those changes. But we'll see what happens. I mean, again, this is all in the super test, so this may not even go to the live server. Who knows? ST2 is getting a 7-degree improvement on its turret traverse speed. It's getting additional frontal armor on the turret and gun magnet. Okay. The reload time between shots is getting decreased by 20%. And the gun reload time is getting a slight improvement as well. It's okay increasing the turret armor. You still got a gigantic fucking weak spot there. People ain't shooting you here. No, people are shooting you up here. And then the VZ155 is getting nerfs. So its reload time is getting a slight reload time between shots is getting a 25% increase. The gun reload time is getting an extra 3 seconds, and the aiming time is 3-second aiming time. Well, they have effectively killed the bloody tank. Fine. Right. The next bit is the bit that I'm looking forward to. 2 reward tanks. 2 overpowered reward tanks that I have been wanting Wargaming to look into and do something with are finally getting done. However, it's not all good news, because I think that the changes that they are doing are not enough. So those 2 tanks are the Chieftain and the 279E. 2 tanks that fucking are terrible. So I am really happy to see those actually getting a bit of a nerf. I would like them to have a bit more of a nerf, but I think that the change they've done is a step in the right direction at least. Bang up chance says, even nice to see the Chief and the 279 getting bumped. Yeah. It's nice to see them actually getting nerfed, but of course they have to be careful because these are reward vehicles given to good players that usually you have to work hard to get. Usually. So, you know. Says no BZ. Yeah, I was thinking that. I mean, I was shocked that the BZ wasn't included, but maybe it's going to get a separate rework on its own. Maybe. Okay. So what is Wargaming saying about these reward vehicles? So the feedback regarding the Chieftain and the 279E has been extensive. They don't say. A lot of people have been complaining about these tanks ever since they were introduced into the game. It's only taken you, what, 3-4 years? And the number of these tanks in the game is growing over time. The data confirms that both are currently overperforming to a degree. You don't fucking say. It's a fucking understatement and a half. They often decide the outcome of battles. Yes. Due to their stats, but also to the skill of the players that manage to obtain these reward vehicles. That is one of the fucking problems. Good players do not need overpowered fucking tanks. They do not need an overpowered tank to fucking be good. If you are a good player, you can make even the shittiest of tanks work really well. If you are a good player, then there is no excuse why you can't make M3 Lee be a fucking monster. Other than the fact that it's an M3 Lee. But, you know. But Chieftain needs no skill. True. 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 Considering the value of these tanks, the decision to adjust their parameters is not an easy one, but it is still long overdue. That I agree with. Yes, these are highly valued tanks, and you do have to kind of work towards them. I mean, okay, this one requires quite a bit of work unless you pay to get somebody to do it for you, to get into terms and conditions. and will probably have your account fucked off. And this one, like Bang Average says, you can either get lucky in being part of a good clan, or do it properly and work your ass off. Yes, you spend a lot of effort getting these 2 tanks, so I can understand them being hesitant at doing the change to them. However, they need to be done. So what if it pisses a couple of people off? I'd rather than piss off 1,000 people if it's going to keep 100,000 people happy. The proposed stat adjustments are to make competition fairer, while ensuring the Chieftain and the Object 279E stay among their best tier 10 heavies. So they still want to make sure that these 2 tanks outplay their tier D-Tronics, because they just fucking said it there. Yeah, they want to make the changes whilst ensuring that the Chieftain and the Object 279 stay among the best tier 10 heavies. So they still want these tanks to basically be top notch. While the Chieftain's ability and firepower are to become less overwhelming, I don't think the mobility and the firepower are the fucking issue here, Wargaming, but whatever, go with it. It will still be a mighty universal heavy, ideal for terrain-based play. Okay. Having a lesser top speed, damage per minute, and HP pool. The 279E will keep all of its armor. Fine. And even with their special round armor penetration reduced. Wait, hang on. And even they're nerfing the gold rounds. Both vehicles are able to demonstrate great battlefield performance and thus keep the status that they earned with the community. With all vehicles will remain a worthy acknowledgement of the time and effort spent to acquire them, while ensuring fair competition and fun gameplay for everyone. Apart from the fact it's not going to be fun whilst these tanks are still in the fucking game. Let's have a look at the nerfs for the Chieftain. Its top speed is going down from 46 to 40. Its whole traverse speed is getting nerfed to 28 degrees a second. The reload time is getting nerfed to 12 seconds. And the special shell penetration is getting nerfed to 311. So considering every fucking Chieftain driver fires nothing but gold anyway, that is still a lot of fucking penetration. 12-second reload on the gun. Okay, that's about standard, I suppose. I can let him off. The mobility. Again, it comes down to the fact is the problem that I have, and the problem most people have with the Chieftain, is not its fucking gun, and is not its ability. It's the fucking armor on this turret, and the fact that there's no fucking weak spots. If they want to make this fun to play against, they need to nerf this frontal armor of the turret, or introduce weak spots. Am I right, or am I wrong? I think they do. I think they need to. But the changes that they've done here to the Chieftain is a good start. It's a good starting point. It's not enough. And I know this is only a sandbox. I know this is not something that is likely to be coming to the game for a little while yet. So these could change. But I think a nerf to the armor, to the turret armor, is needed. Okay, if they're not going to make the weak spots larger, then make the armor thinner. Make it so that if somebody fires gold at this thing, it can penetrate. Because you can lob penetration, you can lob fucking gold at this fucking thing, and you won't penetrate. And if that fucker is hull down, if this fucker is hull down, so you only see this bit here, and it's not possible to get behind him or get this about the side of him because, let's say, he's dug into some kind of building area, and he's the last guy alive. Now, yes, you could go uncap, but let's say there weren't enough time to cap, and the only chance of you winning this battle is killing this guy. That's not going to happen because you won't be able to get through the front of his turret. Meanwhile, him with his 311mm of penetration can go straight through you every time, more or less. Am I wrong? This is why Wargaming need an average player in their fucking CC program. Because I can't be the only fucker that's seeing this, surely. Okay, before I get too fucked off of the Chieftain, let's get fucked off of the 279E. The bastard of the tank has no fucking weak spots. And this frontal zone, everybody goes, oh, just shoot it in the fucking hole. It's like, sure. But 50% of the time my shells are just going to bounce the fuck off. I've just fucking seen something. No. Zoe says stopping them competing randoms would be a better start. Yeah. I mean, if they've done it to Artie, why can't I do it to the Chieftains? Or any reward tank? Let's say you could only have one reward tank per platoon. Or one tier 10 reward tank per platoon. Yeah, that'll probably fix some of the issues. So it's getting a nerf to its hit points. It is losing 100 hit points. Sure. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Gun reload time is getting nerfed and having an additional second. Again, I don't think the gun is the issue on these tanks. I don't think the fact that it has 2400 hit points is an issue on this tank. I don't think the issue of it doing 40 kilometers an hour is an issue. The issue that everybody's complaining about is the armor, which they ain't fucking touching. And the gold rounds is getting nerfed to 320. Which is fucking higher than this. In fact, I've just fucking noticed something. So, they're nerfing this by 11mm, which means this had 322mm of penetration on its premium shell. this is getting nerfed to 320. Pretty much the same fucking penetration as this tag before the fucking nerfs. So hang on. If 320 millimeters of penetration on ghost shells is too much, then how come it's fucking okay on the 279E? Wargaming, are you fucking thick? Or just fucking stupid? Oh my god, this game isn't going to be fucking around for another couple of years. If I carry on doing this fucking bullshit, with the pay-to-win bullshit, like the fucking assembly shop, like the fucking WoT Plus, like not fucking nerfing these fucking things properly, fucking the game's gonna be fucking done within the next 2-3 years. And I don't think Wargaming see this. Or maybe they do and they're just playing dumb. And they're just trying to milk everybody because they know the end is coming. So they're just trying to make as much money before they eventually have to close the game down. I don't understand Wargaming either. I don't. The thing is though, I have seen this bullshit. I've seen this bullshit coming for the last 5 fucking years. In fact, the last probably 6-7 years. I have seen this bullshit happening. This is nothing new, and this doesn't fucking surprise me. Well, it surprised me a little because I didn't think that they would really be that fucking stupid to go ahead and do this kind of shit, but Wargaming. So yeah. But anyway, that is the proposed changes happening on the SuperTest. I just fucking hope that the changes they do to these reward vehicles are more than they're intended to do. The changes that they've done to these premium vehicles here and the tech tree vehicles that I'm doing here, they're good. Fine, I'm happy with that, even though I am still fucking concerned about this. Well, actually no, this and this. The reload time between shots, fine. We can work with it. The gun reload time 25 seconds. Again, we can work with that. The aiming time of 3 seconds is going to make this very uncomfortable. Fine. This is, I don't know. Well, I'm guessing we'll wait until the common test. But this bullshit. I just don't know. Anyway, there you go. There's my thoughts on the current SuperTest changes. Yeah. Overall, not particularly happy. Well, I'm half happy and half not. So, Carl Luke